Okay.
No respect.
Okay, well,
Do I deserve it?
Representative Eissler has already given us his 4 minutes last Monday.
Yes.
So we're going to go straight to the question and answer mode. We do need to stick to the schedule according to the clock. So we'll trust our timekeeper and our moderator. We had a different moderator this evening. Our other moderator was not able to return tonight.
Oh, no.
So question and answers.
Great. Thank
Questions?
you. It's good to be back. I enjoyed last time. Your husband? Got the new business, that's right.
Brian,
I got a question.
Who's got
Yes,
the first
sir.
question?
One of the things that I see, I mean, I'm familiar with what you've done and studied and all that kind of stuff. You seem to have government as a solution to problems. You know, yes, you do. The school.
Democrats have government as a solution.
You know, they had the task to test this and keep schools in line. You're doing it from the scoring and the ranking, and that's going to solve it. But that's government solving the problem.
No.
Okay.
Well, last time we talked about yellow page economy, didn't we? You know, if a private company can do it. In fact, today, I was just talking, in fact, I had a message. Well, let me answer your question first. Okay? No, I didn't make up the tax test, all right? But my bill got rid of it, all right? I'm an incentive type person. I'm not government is the answer. I'm far from it. We have a duty in the governing to handle certain things, okay? And I think last time I was here we talked about public school, obviously. And yeah, there are private schools that are great. And they do a better job than some public schools. There are some really good public schools too. And that is my responsibility in the legislature. So I'm going to do my best. But I'm going to take it to from a different angle. Yes, we have testing. We have to have accountability. We just did the new accountability, brand new accountability. College readiness. Incentives for school districts to be rated on how well they prepare kids for college. And when I say college, it's workforce and college. It's college is obviously post-secondary, but 72% of the college freshmen in Texas are in community college. 52% of all college kids in Texas are in community college. And that's where the job training can be, and that's where it's a lot cheaper, and that's the evolution of education.
So since you're bringing up secondary college, why is it the responsibility of taxpayers to teach adults?
Teach adults?
Why should the government set up school districts or college districts?
Well, we're talking community college. You're talking community college now? Well, the responsibility of their public and their private colleges. Community college, I'm trying to think of, I don't know of any private community colleges.
They're technical college. There's technical colleges.
Yeah, no,
that
technical
fall
schools, that's right,
underneath
for profit.
that. Right.
Yeah, that's true, there are. Why is it the response? Because that's what was set up. All right?
Next question.
I apologize because I missed most of yours last time. But since we're on education, I'd just like to know your opinion of homeschooling.
90% of what you learn as a human being, you learn in the first 5 years of your life. I think homeschool can be the best. It's awesome because you've got low student-teacher ratio. You've got not much of a discipline problem, right? I look at Bob because we get visits, and it's fun. It really is. Homeschool kids have get a lot of attention, and they can go faster than public school. A lot of positives. In fact, the only thing I used to worry about homeschoolers was, you know, when there were subject areas that went beyond what the parents were familiar with. But then I found out that, you know, there's a lot of pooling that goes on, and like-minded parents will bring somebody in. And something that's kind of neat is Houston ISD has a resource center for homeschoolers, which I think is appropriate, because where do they get their money?
Can I do a follow-up on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that there should be any government interference in it? Any testing, any control, anything on that order?
No.
Chris?
Representative Eissler, my question involves versus your candidate in the next term that you serve, if you're elected, what will you do that the other candidate can't do that will progress the conservative values that we hold? Does that make sense?
You mean,
What are you
well,
going to do?
I would be a fifth-term rep, which would put my seniority somewhere, and I'm thinking about this, probably just in the top half. I'm a chairman, which has, well, chairmen actually run the legislature. That's how all bills are set by chairman. So I can get a lot more done than a freshman. Is that your question?
It is, and I was curious what particularly you have in mind for that upcoming year? Everything you might be able to.
Oh, a couple of 10th Amendment opportunities, which I hope happen. Public ed stuff, principals, middle school. We're going to redo the formulas. Efficiency is going to be done correctly, not the way it's being done right now. And well, let me add one more thing to that, and that is, I get along real well with the chair of the Senate Public Ed. In fact, she and I presented to the Texas Association of Business today, and that's where I came from there. Good traffic on the way here. But so I have influence on the Senate stuff. Dan Patrick, Senator Dan Patrick's on the Public Ed in the Senate too. In fact, I
Who's the
did it
other
with him
one?
last night.
Who's the other one you were referring to? Who's the other that you were referring to?
The chair
Dan
of the
Patrick?
Senate.
The chair of the Senate.
Oh, Florence Shapiro.
Adrian?
So I've got a lot of influence in the legislature. In fact, people come to me when there's an education question
Thank you.
because of 18 years on the Conroe School District.
Okay. Adrian?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Can you, I see in your questionnaire that you said that there were some state functions that should be privatized. I wasn't at the last meeting. Was that something you covered the last time?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Okay, we don't cover that.
Dale?
When I went through public school,
I asked you twice and you didn't speak up, so you don't get
there
another.
was no, all the tests were made up by teachers. There was no state
Standardized.
level or anything of that nature.
Wait, there's no what now?
There was no state level testing. There's no state level mandated standards that I was aware of.
Okay.
I guess I'm not convinced that there's a need for state level standards, so convince me.
Well, you're talking to the guy that just helped fight the federal standards coming into Texas. So,
So we'll just take it down one more.
well, that's what I was gonna. That's why I was smiling.
Yes.
What we've had up until now is it's called the TAX test, the Texas Assessment of Knowledge and Skills. It's a high stakes, low standards test, meaning it should be easily passed by most kids. Well, it's not. And because it is standardized, you say, hey, we've got the best schools in America right here in, we'll say, downtown San Antonio. Well, Lubbock thinks the same thing, Fort Worth the same thing. How do we know? How can we compare them? How do we know who's really doing a great job?
Why is it?
Well, that's a good question. Why is it important? We want businesses to come to Texas, don't we? We want businesses, and business will come to Texas and provide jobs, grow our economy, if the schools are good. And we are fortunate in this area, Montgomery County, because we're in a school district that has excellent schools in comparison. But that's how you know. That's how you find out.
So why don't we do away with the independent